Hello everybody, I'm B from Our Dream, Our Purpose. Do a little melting today again. Gonna try something I have not done before. I've heard a lot about casting foam, packing it in sand, and then pouring it. It actually melts the aluminum, copper, whatever you use, melts the foam away and it creates it. So I've got these foam balls, a couple different sizes, handful of them. I'm actually gonna use these, I got a couple different containers. I'm gonna pack with sand, put the balls inside, pack around them, and put a little hole at the top so I can actually pour in. So we got a couple different ones. We'll see how that does. Again, we're using Petrobond sand. You'll see that as we go and mix it. And what I'm using is I've got a bunch of aluminum wire. We live out in the country and our lines, electric lines, went overhead. They actually just put them in the ground and actually got to keep some of this electric line. So I've got quite a bit of it. So you'll see me, when I'm doing a pour, I'm really focusing more on the casting itself. Not this, but you will see me strip this. I'll actually cut it into sections so it'll fit in the crucibles. And then we'll use that to do our pours. And then what we'll also do today is actually put the furnace outside. It's a beautiful day outside, so we'll open up the garage door, get to enjoy that. But continue watching. I hope you enjoy what we do. If you have any comments, please put them out there. Please subscribe. Allows us to keep doing what we're doing. So, all right, so we'll get to it.
Alright, so here I'm actually taking the coating off. I'll talk about this a little bit later, but there's two different types of coating. There's a yellow and a black coating. The yellow is really as if you dipped the wire in a rubber coating. So it was on there really well inside the grooves. It was very difficult to get off. The black was more of a outer coating that was on it and just heated enough to hold it tight, but it came off a lot easier. So I stripped down a majority of the black. You can see the black is going smoother, and then what I'm doing is cutting the aluminum into manageable sizes that'll fit in the crucible easily, so I'm not having to worry about any hanging out or anything like that.
Broke down the wire, some of it, not all of it. You see some of it broke down, got quite a bit out of it. Some of the yellow was a lot tougher to get off the aluminum. So when I have a little more time, I'll focus on that. The black coated cable actually came off pretty smooth. You saw that. So a lot of this is the black. I think this is gonna be enough. If not, I can actually do more as we start pouring. I'm gonna do them all individually so we'll be able to see how much we have and how much we need. But I think we have enough of that. Now we'll get to actually making these molds. We'll start, I'm gonna do one of these, a small one. The big ones I think will be easier because I have a little more room in the container. So we'll see. Let me grab a couple tools for tamping and get my gloves on. We'll get right to it. All right, we've got some tools. And really a few different things so we can actually use for tamping it down, getting around the cylinders. So we'll get started. I'll bring it a little closer. Let me get this started and then I'll bring it a little bit closer and you can see what we're doing. Start putting some in there first so I can get a base. So what I did is I packed the bottom, then I put some more loose in there so I can press that ball down inside there so it pushes at the bottom and around the edges. Now I'll put some more. I'm really going around the edges. I know I can get the top smooth, but I want to make sure we pack enough around the edges. Got that pretty good. We'll put a little more in there. So we get that so far. Now my plan is to use copper pipe. I've got a plastic PVC and then a galvanized one, but the plan is to push down. Put a little hole in the top. I can feel it hitting and I can see the foam ball in there. That's what I wanted to get to the top of that there. And then I kind of wiggle it around to make the top a little bit bigger. And then just push on the edges so it sticks. With one down, let's get to the other one. So let's pull you a little closer. Pack the bottom, left the top soft. I'm going to press this down now. Okay. Put a little bit more around it. Still see it down in there. What I'm doing now is pressing around the edges. So we pack that down. And what I wanted to do is make a nice pack around the styrofoam, because the plan is for the styrofoam to melt. You don't want it to cave in or it won't be the right shape you're looking for. The other thing is I'm not sure if there's different type styrofoams for this. I've not done it, it's the first time, so we're gonna try and see how it turns out. Anybody out there knows what the right type is, please comment. What it comes out like, just so I know it's got everything out of there. I'll put it back in. Like I said, I move it around a little bit, and then I want to round the edges off, just so when I pour, it doesn't hit the edges and be sharp and go in. All right. Do one more small one. I like that container. we go. Clean this up, and then we'll start melting.
As we go through this, I'll show you a little bit of the melt itself. I'm pretty consistent in how I do it for the most part. Really focusing on more of the pour to see how the sand casting of the foam balls turns out. See how it melts the foam and how that works. So it's really focusing more on there. I'm just setting up here. So it is in fact rare in one of my videos where I'm melting that you won't see me pointing out the flames, whether it's slow motion or let you know there's a fire here. It's really just me, it's relaxing to see the flames, so I like to point that out. Anything I like doing, I like to let everybody else know, and if they like the same thing, it's good information for them. It's a good opportunity for them just to enjoy that moment. So a couple different things. I wasn't able to pour it perfectly in the center. One, I always struggle with that too. The smoke, I did not expect the smoke. I should have, when you're melting foam or anything like that, you get some, but I really didn't expect it. So I'll talk about that a little bit later, but we'll keep working on it, keep trying, and every time we do something like this, we learn from it, so I'm learning from this one. So the smoke you're seeing here is the sand I use is a Petrobond sand. It has an oil that holds the sand together. That oil actually burns as you're putting something hot in there. So the smoke you're seeing is purely from the oil burning in the sand itself. And then I'm putting it in a small container on the side, trying to cool them down is really what I'm doing. So I mentioned a few minutes ago about the smoke from the sand itself, just burning the oil out of the Petrobond. As you can see, the two molds here, the flames coming out, that's exactly what it's doing. It's burning that oil. It's the flames from it. So because I'm using such a small container of water, it did not take long for it to get hot. With putting that metal in there, the aluminum in there, it boils it instantly and was just boiling it out. So that was my fault. Should have had a larger container. Just thought this would work, and it did. Just made a mess, really is what it did.
All right, hope you're still with us. Went through the process, cut up the aluminum, stripped the aluminum, and then actually made sand molds out of the styrofoam balls, which turned out like this. You see the posts and where we poured it. Didn't turn out as bad as concerned. Some of them, they're not perfectly round. They're a little pitted, but that's what the styrofoam was. The larger one, this one struggled to get the pour in. So you can see I over poured quite a bit. And when the styrofoam was melting, it was creating a black smoke I didn't expect. Next time I'll wear a respirator, but I also couldn't see. So I was worried I wasn't gonna be able to get enough in, but it seems like we did okay. So what I'm gonna do now is I'll cut these ends off. We'll throw those in the bucket and melt those later. And then I'll clean these up a little bit and let's see how the final product turns out.
So what I'm doing here is just using a bandsaw to cut the ends off. And so once I get those off, then I will use a grinder with a flapper wheel on it. It's basically, if you don't know what a flapper wheel is, it's a bunch of little pieces of sandpaper on it that goes around. And so I'm smoothing the edges up. Like I had mentioned, it had pitting on the styrofoam ball, so I expected that. So I started cleaning this up. It actually cleaned up better than I thought, so I just kind of did them all, went around. But that's really what I'm doing, is I just do what I can, then I'll turn it a little bit into vise, and then sand some more and turn it a little bit into vise. So we'll get it as round as we can.
All right, we're back from cleaning these up, and I'll be honest, they turned out better than I expected. There was a lot of pitting, but that was from the styrofoam. Styrofoam wasn't perfectly smooth, so I expected some of that. Once it melted out, there was a few little holes that are tough to get, and I could grind more and get those. They're not perfectly round, especially after I'm grinding them. I don't have anything that will shape something perfectly round. Sand it, clean it perfectly round. I don't know, a lathe would do it to an extent, but not to what I was looking for. So If anybody has any ideas out there, let me know. Always trying new things. You guys know what this is all about. Tried this. This was new. Again, very impressed with it. Turned out nice. Again, not perfectly round, but aluminum balls made out of foam. So now I know I can make anything that's foam. I can carve it out of foam or buy foam and melt it and see how it does. So keep trying. If you like it, like the video, like, subscribe. Subscribe helps us grow, gets more people out there. So share the video. And just give suggestions and comments, things you'd like to see me try. So trying to get better, keep improving, enjoy doing it. I hope you guys enjoy it, trying to make it fun. We'll go from there, all right? See you next time. Thanks.